Multiple commenters have asked me to play the Ace Monkey and share the results, and I'm glad I did. In this video I'll be sharing the results of over 33 games played with the Monkey Ace, including optimized economy paths, what round to build it on, what it's good at, and more. Now before we get started, I would like to thank these commenters for recommending Monkey Ace as the next topic to cover, as I very much enjoyed testing its performance. Monkey Ace finds its place in the meta towards the mid to late game, either as supporting damage against mid-game Moabs, or as a bottom path late game spectre for extra raw DPS. The bombing middle path is a pretty solid option on certain maps, such as the one shaped as a hex, but generally it seems to underperform in relation to the other investment options that a player might take on their team. Now for the playstyle of this plane, it feels very enjoyable. It's a very visually stimulating tower. However, its inaccurate nature generally locks it in as a supporting tower for your early game units, or until the mid to late game when you can either get lots more darts or homing attacks. Now stacking multiple planes in a single game is extremely satisfying as well, though generally it can get way too dank and lag out the game in rounds 30 plus when stacking multiple top path aces. Opponents will straight lag out the game sometimes. Multiple 4-2x Monkey Aces are able to hold against common pushes, such as the fortified DDT rush. However, the middle path camo tech needs to be taken, otherwise the DDTs won't be hit by the Moab missiles. So now that you have a general idea of how this tower works, let's get into the build orders and what you should be thinking on certain rounds. For the build order, you almost always begin the game with the starting tower and transition into your planes and other towers as the game progresses. It's very rare to see a plane placed before round 6. For my tests, I mainly use the boomerang as my starting tower. However, other options such as the dart monkey, the ice tower, or the season 1 dartling gunner can all be viable options, but aren't the only options. Now for your early game economy, you also have a few interesting options. You can begin with double reds into double blues, and then single whites at round 5. Or, if you're against a more passive opponent and are able to tech more into economy, you can go the following. Double reds, double blues, into double greens, and double yellows. Doing this will get you a much earlier early game economy and allow you to snowball even heavier into the late game, as planes generally require a large amount of money. Usually by round 6 to 11, you're going to place your second tower selection down, such as a sniper, a banana farm, ninja, a mortar, or any synergistic tower to prepare for camo, lead, and purple pushes, or any other early game defense pre-Moab. Now once you have your general defenses in order, you could begin investing further into economy, either through a sniper foundation, through farms, through engineers, or just straight through balloon sends. Rounds 12 through 18 are very much like rounds 6 through 11, with the focus on defense, economy, and preparation for the Moab rounds. There's also some potential for some early game wins at round 12, with camo purple, rainbow rushes, or even lead rushes against some users. Now for some important metrics that you generally want to be above, or are generally a good indicator of success in your game, is trying to get above 1,000 economy per cycle by round 17. That's usually a good minimum metric to try to hit, however you can get much higher, up into the 1700s to almost 2000. Now once round 17 begins, it can be good to begin saving 4,000 to 6,000 in preparation of sending a fortified Moab on round 18. Or if you're predicting your opponent to do it to you, you can invest in defense against round 18, but hover it in your economy bin during round 17. That way you have liquid options for offense or defense. The biggest attacks to look out for and the biggest defenses you think you might need to watch out for are going to be rounds 18 with triple to quadruple Moab rush, and round 22 with the fortified ZMG rush. Now it's worth noting that round 18 has won me way more games than any other round by far. It seems like the most amount of people aren't really ready for this, and the common dartling strategy struggles against 3 or more fortified Moabs. Now for rounds 20 and beyond, it's good to begin getting large amounts of top path planes down, or one bottom path spectre, maybe a couple if you need it. When going deep into the late game, snipers are a good third tower option, allowing you to consistently send fortified Moabs and still maintain an economy with the middle path cash drop. Post season 1, this may be changed, and banana farms may pop up as a better economic choice. However, in season 1 this combo has won me a lot of games in trophy 60 plus arenas. Now the ninja and super monkey are both solid options as well. However, due to the nature of the Monkey Ace enjoying lots of investment, having multiple economy options will allow this advantage to snowball further, either through farms, engineers, alchemists, or any of the other towers I mentioned earlier. The top path overall is my favorite path to run when using the Monkey Ace due to the massive amount of visual stimulation it gives. Like, it almost feels like it has a passive intimidation buff against the opponents as well. Like after I get multiple planes down on the board, many of my opponents have stopped sending mega pushes until way late into the game, thinking I'm a lot more defensively sound than what this strategy may be. And it looks like I can hold against anything, but sometimes there's some weak points around 22 to around 24. Fortified DDTs have also given this issue. Now the middle path offers some interesting ability options. However, I found myself often winning before I could invest in this tech long term, or I would choose other paths first for a smoother mid to late game ramp. Now I know some players and other Bloon tubers have enjoyed this path quite a bit, mainly the ability and how effective it can be. However, I currently have a preference for the top and bottom paths, mainly the top path. Now speaking of the bottom path, this thing can become a powerhouse in the late game. Getting multiple specters can defend against almost anything without much support, save for a fortified bat or DDT rush if not running the middle path. The never miss targeting is an interesting option. However, for a 2,000 investment, I found it's usually worth distributing that early 2,000 into other options. The upgrade jump from the tier 3 never miss to tier 4 spectre is over 20,000, leaving the other paths more interesting for the early to mid game in my opinion. The bottom path usually doesn't pop its head up until the late round 20s. Overall, I very much enjoyed running this tower and creating new build paths with the Monkey Ace. I've won more games than I've lost using it, including while leveling up its paths. I believe it to be a very solid option as a third supporting tower for your early game choice, and it can help support your mid game defense relatively well while leveling your economy in the mid game. Late game, the bottom path performs pretty well. However, getting 4 or more top path planes in the air feels very satisfying. It can even win games based on the vibes it creates in your opponents alone, stopping them from sending attacks, making them vulnerable to a quick one from you. Now that we're at the end of the video, I'd like to give some more community shoutouts. I appreciate it if you've made it this far. Hopefully this video has helped you in some way, either in improving your gameplay or expanding your understanding of all the potential options this game offers you. I've been creating some content on some of the most requested Battles 2 topics, and I've organized them into a few playlists for you. So feel free to browse if there's any more information or explanations you're seeking. I'll be covering many more towers, metas, playstyles, seasons, and more. So expect to see a lot more content over time. Just like how this is season 1 in the game, this is season 1 for Marnie. You know how it goes. Now the algorithm also loves engagement, so please feel free to interact with other commenters or suggest other potential content to put on the channel, and I'll keep doing my thing. Expect to see some Bloons Tower Defense 6 content on here as well, because I've been loving that game. I appreciate all the love and support y'all have been giving. Hopefully in me sharing these experiences, I can offer some value to you. I appreciate you watching. Thanks.